Hey guys, Horror Man back for another review. So today we're going to take a look at the Freddy vs. Jason Voorhees Ultimate Action Figure. Now of course this is made by NECA Toys and it's part of their ongoing line of Ultimate Collectibles. So you got the Freddy vs. Jason name on the front here. You got this awesome picture of Jason from that Freddy vs. Jason poster. Now hopefully we'll get a Freddy to square up with this eventually, but who knows when that can be. It's got that black glossy box, so expect cat hair and dust and everything else to stick to it. You got the little hanger on the top, so you should see him hanging on the shelf soon, or you could just hang it on the wall. You do have Jason from the movie on the side, Freddy vs. Jason, NECA Real Toys. On the other side, it's the same thing. On the top, again, you get a picture of Jason, warning, NECA, Freddy vs. Jason, and then on the bottom you just get the names of the people responsible. And I just want to say Kyle Wendrix is friggin' awesome. If you don't know who Tank Man is, he has sculpted pretty much every Jason that NECA's ever done. And then on the back of the packaging you just get some different images of Jason, the actual figure. You do get a picture of Freddy and Jason on the back, which is really cool. It's actually the only picture of Freddy on this box, but you do get him there. There is a little bit of a read up here. If you want to pause it, you could read it. And at the bottom, it just has a little description of the accessories that it comes with. Now, once you get to the front, you can open the flap, and you get a clear picture or a clear window with Jason displayed on the inside with the accessories. And then you also get another picture of the actual figure. So pretty cool figure to see here. I was actually really hoping this would get released again one day. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box and get a closer look. Alright, so here he is out of the packaging. And you actually do get this little insert or a backdrop that comes with him, this is pretty cool. And you can even fold this out a little bit if you want. But it's just like a kind of nighttime scene from Crystal Lake. It's got a little bit of like, looks like some kind of moonlight kind of coming through the trees there, so pretty cool. But let's go ahead and get a close-up of the head sculpt and mask, and then we'll take a look at the accessories. Alright, so taking a look at the head sculpt here with the mask on. Now this is the first mask that you get. This is the one that's in the box when you get the figure. And it's basically going to be like the cleanest mask of the three. And I guess I would call this more of a clean version, because when he starts in the movie, it's not all cracked up or bloody or anything like that. It's kind of just buried as he's buried in the dirt. So it's just got that kind of weathered, aged look to it. But you do have the different chevron, like the little red markings on there. You got 3 of those. All the holes are, I guess you would call sculpted, or, they're not just painted on or anything. So really well done. I like the holes on the masks. They're not too small, they're not too big. Like the eye holes are really nice. I like the little one in the nose. The original Freddy vs. Jason, they really screwed up on that, the hole where the nose is. So I'm really glad they fixed that. It's a lot smaller. It just overall looks way better. And over to the left side of the face or the mask, you can see the little buckle on here. You got a little silver, what do they call the rivet on there. You got the ear, and he's got a little bit of that hair, and it kind of, you can see it starts at the head, and then it kind of goes underneath the strap. And you can see on the right side of his head, you don't have that hair coming through. It was only on the left side in the movie, so that's accurate. And again, you see like the little adjustments for the strap and another one of the rivets. And then over to the back of the head, you could just see like the cracking and everything, or like the wrinkles on his head. You do have that little adjustment strap or adjustment piece for the straps, or the one that kind of interlocks all 3 of the straps together. And you can see a little bit of that hair as well. So really nice details with that first mask. Now what's nice about these Jason figures made by NECA is that the mask always does seem to come off, and this one is no different. So in order to take that off, you're just going to want to lift off here, and then you can see the face fully revealed underneath. And he is very grotesque looking, so I'm pretty happy with how this looks. And just getting a closer look at the face sculpt, you can see those kind of gangly teeth coming out of that jaw there, so pretty crazy looking. The eyes are nicely painted. Again, you got all those like, you know, wrinkles, and you can see that one really identifying mark that he always has on the left side of his face. It's kind of like lumpy with that big kind of scar going over top there. So really, really nice details. Now, besides the more clean mask, you also get 2 other masks for Jason, which is awesome. So you do get the more dream sequence version of his mask, and that's basically when Jason has like the mask scratched up by Freddy. So you can see on this one you have like the claw marks, and I think they've done a pretty good job with the detail on here. It's kind of faint, but you could definitely see the scratches going across. And again, this was like a dream sequence thing. He didn't really have like the scratches throughout the movie. It was just really one scene. And then the final mask you get is just soaked in blood. This is definitely from the final battle scene. So you can see it is just covered in blood all over it. But it's nice. You still get to see part of the mask, so it's not just like a red mask. But it looks like somebody just threw like a bucket of blood at Jason. So really cool, and I think this is going to be a favorite for a lot of people. And just looking at the rest of the details in the body, this thing, sculpting wise, is insane. I mean, it is really, really good. So you get basically, you know, he's got a couple shirts on. You can see the shirt underneath of this gray shirt, and the one underneath is kind of like a dark blue or an aged, like really dirty blue shirt. And then you have this gray one over top, and that one's kind of like a rubbery piece, so it's kind of like an extra piece on top of the sculpted shirt. And then you have his jacket, which is really, really weathered, and it looks outstanding. Now, it is kind of like a big separate piece also, and I like that everything's separate. It kind of makes him a little bit bigger, or make him appear even bigger than he is, and he's already huge, so it's a huge plus. But you can see all the different tears from the jacket. I mean, he was, you know, if you watch the movie, he's buried at the beginning, so it's really cool that they did that. You can see the sleeves all torn up, and like the lining for the sleeve is actually showing here. All the different holes, and you know, you can see the rips and tears all in that gray shirt. Just really, really nicely detailed all around on here. And of course, NECA doesn't stop at the front. They got to make the back look just as good as the front, and that's what you have here. I mean, you have a big tear in there, and you can see again the lining for the jacket showing. All these little fabric tears with the fabric, just kind of like strings coming down. And finally, down to the lower half of the figure, you can see he's just got those dark black pants on. And you can see there's a lot of wrinkles going through them. You do have some different tears and things in the actual pants. Again, just really, really nice sculpting on those, and you know, all around, front and back, you just have a lot of good sculpting on here. And then these shoes would make Frankenstein jealous. I mean, they're huge, huge, like boots. They have like the risers, just like Ken Kersinger wore in the movie to make him even taller. And you do have 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet, as well as some tread. So really, really nice details. And the hands are really sculpted well. I like how it's kind of in that kind of gripping or open hand pose, and I'll show you what's going to be great about that in a little bit. But he doesn't come with any interchangeable hands, so this is it. You basically get the machete holding hand, and then that kind of open hand. Okay, so besides all the great details in this figure, a huge improvement is going to be articulation, and that's what this Ultimate line really focuses on. You know, articulation and accessories, but really that articulation is everything with this Ultimate line. So just starting with the head, he could rotate pretty good on here, left and right. It's a little tight, I'm not going to lie, it's a little tight. He can look down pretty good, which is a great thing for a figure this freaking tall. He can look up pretty decent as well. And of course you can get some of that head tilt movement. Alright, in terms of the arms, he can go out pretty far. And then the arms can go down almost all the way. He does have the single jointed elbow, of course. They will swivel as well. He can go up pretty high and then to the waist, or actually I should say the wrist first. He does have swivel here. He can kind of hinge a little bit as well. Not a lot of movement in those wrists, unfortunately. The waist can swivel a little bit. He can crunch down and go back a decent amount. Kind of go tilt to the left or to the right. Feet or the legs can go out about that. He could do a kick about that far. Got a knee bend single joint. Not much up and down on those big feet, and really not much for ankle rocker either. So it's a good improvement over the originals, but still not really super articulate. Alright, so you do get some really cool accessories with this Jason figure. Now unfortunately you're not going to get interchangeable hands, which is the one downside I think about this figure. But what you do get some really cool pieces. Now we've already taken a look at the hockey mask. So you actually get 3 different removable hockey masks, which I love that. But besides that, you get some other cool accessories. You do get this little teddy bear, which is actually from a scene, like a behind the scenes photo. But it was actually a scene, I guess, that was cut from the movie. But there's a scene where it's basically a dream sequence of Jason in his childhood room holding this teddy bear. So pretty cool. And I like the details on this. You can see he's like kind of got that fluffy type of sculpt to him. He does have these little things where it looks like the stuffing's kind of tearing out of him. And then over to the back, he looks pretty good too. So yeah, I like the details on him. He's got like little black eyes and a black nose. And then he also gets 2 different machetes. They're both the same, but one has a bunch of blood on the cutting side, which is pretty cool. And then you also get this flame effect, which I wish we would get more from NECA. And with the flame effect, you could put this on either of the machetes, and you basically just clip it on like so, and you could probably put it on the flame side or the cutting side or the regular side. I guess it's up to you. And here's Jason holding the machete with the flame effect on it, and you can see I put it on the back side of the sharper side of the blade. And again, you could just take that off if you don't want to display it with that. And here he is holding the bloody machete, and also put the flame effect on here, and you can see I put it on the sharper side. And again, you could just take that right off if you want to display it without the flame. And here he is holding the teddy bear, just like that cut scene. And if you want, you actually could get him in a sitting down pose. Now, if you actually own that original Freddy vs. Jason set, it actually came with a severed Freddy head, and he's actually winking. So if you have that set, you can actually get him to hold this old Freddy head. So even though they didn't make an Ultimate Freddy yet, you can use this accessory, which I think is awesome. And it actually fits in there really well. And this is really cool. When you do see that wink, it was a clear sign that that was a dream at the end of that movie. Alright, so for the first comparison, here he is with the original Freddy vs. Jason diorama. And you can see that the original Jason is actually a little bit taller. And what you could do is, if you want, you could just take this Jason off of here, and you could replace him with this new Jason. And he does seem to scale pretty well. And here they are together without the pier. And you can see that there is a huge difference between these guys. Now Freddy, I always thought, was a little on the tall side for this. He does seem to be a little too tall next to Jason. But this one is a little bit bigger, so I guess it matched up just a little bit better. Now if you take Freddy out of here for a second and just look at these 2 guys, the original Jason really didn't have any articulation from the waist down. His feet moved just a little bit, but he really didn't have much articulation, just a swivel. You know, his arm could move, his head could move. The mask still comes off, and he kind of had these more rubbery type of hands. But yeah, it just really didn't have much articulation. And I really don't think a lot of these parts were even shared. The only thing that they might have maybe shared was the face, and then just the way the hands were sculpted seem about the same. The shoes are similar, but for the most part, these are really completely different figures. And here he is next to a couple of the Friday the 13th Jason Ultimates made by NECA. You have the Part 3 and the remake, and you could see this Freddy vs. Jason is even taller than the remake version. Here he is next to some of the Freddy Ultimates. You have the original Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy and the Part 2 Freddy. And I think both of these look okay with it. The original might be a little too short. And here he is next to a couple other NECA horror figures. You have the Michael Myers from the brand new Halloween 2018 movie. And then you have the Pennywise from the 2017 It movie. And I think they all look really good next to each other. And just for fun, here's some random NECA figures. You have the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Raphael. You have the Curse of Chucky head sculpt on the Ultimate Chucky. You have the Leatherface from the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's also an Ultimate. And then you have the new Toony Terrors Jason, which I just reviewed recently. And you can see these look all really cool next to each other. And for those that like the more cloth figure lines, here he is next to the Mezco Part 3 Jason, and that's part of the 112 Collective line. And then also the NECA Toys Part 6 Jason, and that's part of their more retro line. Alright, and for the final comparison, this one's also just for fun. Here he is next to the original Freddy vs. Jason Sideshow Toys exclusive 12-inch figure. Overall, I'm very impressed with this one. Now, the articulation is a huge improvement over the original, but it's still not perfect. I would love to see double-hinged elbows on a Jason figure. Now, we've seen it with the new Roy that's just come out, but we just haven't seen it with Jason, so it's still one downside about these Jason figures. But overall, I mean, it's a huge improvement over the original. I love the accessories. The teddy bear is just so cool. The 3 interchangeable masks is more than you can expect. I mean, that's just so cool. So overall, yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with it. Now, this is actually the last Ultimate Jason, or really the last Jason figure for NECA for a while. So you're going to want to pick this one up. Due to that rights battle, who knows before you know how long it's going to be and when we'll actually get another Jason figure. And there's still versions to make that we haven't had so far. So I'm hoping this battle is over very soon. So thanks for watching my review. Please like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe. I could always use more followers. Leave a comment or question if you have one. And until next time, guys. See ya.